Coach, two questions. Is Jaylen Brown playing tonight? If he isn't, who's in the starting five?
I would say he's on the phone right now with our team doc and with our trainers, and they're all talking about it. He really wants to play. I'd say very doubtful. If he doesn't play, then we'll start Marcus Smart.
Hi, Brad. What kind of a routine is he going through to see if he's ready?
He went through stuff this morning, although they cut him short from going through the whole workout. He feels a lot better. He's anxious to play. So I think that's part of the discussion. But I think, obviously, if there's any more tests or discussion of the possibility, then he'll go out and do whatever he needs to do on the court for them to feel comfortable.
Brad, you said Marcus Smart. Who's the starting five? Who are you starting in the front court?
Baines and Horford, Smart, Tatum, and Rozier.
The decision to go back to Baines, is it just matchup based?
Brad, with the Sixers and Celtics having such young, talented players, do you expect to be battling them in the playoffs for years to come, kind of like in the glory days of the 1980s?
One of the things that I've learned in sports is you don't take anything for granted. And so, you hope that with, our roster and with their roster that, our paths will cross again, but nothing's guaranteed in the future. And you got to take advantage of every opportunity that you have. And so I'm not thinking about what this is going to look like 10 years from now. We're just thinking about how to play tonight. And I know that that's coach speak, but I really believe that. I mean, can't predict what's going to happen. I think that there's a lot of young talent in the league. We just got done playing a team with incredible young talent. When you talk about, Giannis and Middleton and those guys, and now, man, you look at this team, and they're loaded.
And one other thing, Brett Brown, can you talk about how you feel about the way, he had to go through the process of losing for so many years, and now he's finally
I love Brett. I think Brett is tremendous. He has an unbelievable energy. He has unbelievable positivity. I don't know very many people that could have maintained not only the outlook that he maintained, but also just the way he approached his every day and in every interaction that I ever had with him, and as I watch his teams and how hard they play. So he's a heck of a basketball coach, and it's exciting for him. It's exciting for them that they're where they are, and he's got a heck of a team. But I can't say enough good things about Brett.
Brad, over here on your right. A lot of attention on Embiid and Simmons, obviously so, but with the way they cut and move and space the floor, where does that put stresses on your defense, and what concerns you about that aspect of what they do?
Well, I mean, those guys, the question will be every minute of every game is how much attention can you give those guys outside of their matchup because of the shooting and the cutting. I mean, the shooting is elite around those guys. And when they go with that lineup with Simmons, Saric, Redick or Covington, Bellinelli, and Ilyasova, where they really were rolling there for a while, that is a tough lineup to stop because there's nothing but great shooters out there with a tremendous guy to spray the ball to everybody. So obviously Embiid, what he does is he gives them the chance to always get a great look because they've got a dominant post player with all those other guys, and he benefits from having those other guys around him. I mean, there's no question about it. I was just saying on my radio interview with Sean, they can beat you in every way, right? They're fast in transition. They can post the ball in the half court. They can post with multiple people, or they can run action that is bang, bang, bang that keep you on your heels. And it's a good team. It's expertly coached, so we'll have our hands full.
Hey, Brad, you just touched on this a bit, but obviously the first 4 times you guys played Philly in the regular season, they didn't have Ilyasova or Bellinelli. So especially considering with where your depth is right now, considering the injuries you guys have suffered, how much more difficult do those 2 guys have to make your job tougher stopping their offense?
Yeah, they're really good players. Thankfully, they can only play 5 at a time, and so can we. But, they're great additions to that team, great pickups.
Brad, everybody knows, I think, about Embiid's defensive presence at the rim, but besides Embiid, what makes them one of the top 5 ranked defensive teams in the league?
They switch a ton. They're very aggressive. They turn people over. They've turned us over 4% more than we did in the regular season, generally. And they've been pretty consistent in that the last couple of years even. They are very active. They play with multiple efforts, very tough. And I think deep, and I think part of their depth is, everybody talks about, and rightfully so, Bellinelli, Ilyasova, and those guys coming off the bench. Well, they can go with, whether it's Anderson or McConnell or Fultz or a guy like Luwawu or Holmes that maybe not play a ton but can come in and be a matchup issue defensively because, they're just tough, good athletes, make it difficult on you. Thanks. Oh, go ahead.
Late edition. When you look at the way that you guys game plan for Ben to start the season to how he's developed as a player now, you don't have to give away your secrets, but how have you seen him evolve from the beginning of the year to now?
Well, I think like anything else, he's going to benefit from experience because he's an elite talent. And he's done that. They put him in great positions. They know what his strengths are. He knows what his strengths are, and he plays to them all the time. He's as good as it gets at getting a rebound and flying down the court and making a play for himself or spraying it across court to the shooters. And those guys run like they're going to get the ball. And that's probably a pretty good feeling considering he can throw over people. He can wrap it around. His size and his vision allow him to make plays that other people can't make.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, folks. Coach Brown will be down momentarily.
If you want. Oh, okay. That's fine. You're welcome. I texted Mike to say I was staff back at Physicality. Oh, yeah. But it seems fine. No worries. Okay.
That would stomp on up. It seems like something they do. Sit like dead middle. I thought about it, stopped it, then thought about it, pulled the trigger.
Got it.
Yeah.
Maybe for post game.
Hopefully Jake can learn a thing or two from that.
I might even eke out 4 hours if.
But Thursday's game is 8:30, right?
Yeah, but I should be able to sleep okay Tuesday night.
Monday's game 6.
Oh, that would be hard for me to get to here with my real job, but they'll be out at 10. They'll be out at midnight or later. Where is it? DC. So it's not even that long a flight, but I got a window seat to get on the plane and go pick up. Well, I do want to. I had booked this trip back in March, and I missed my number. So we're just free tonight. I'm looking at my job. Change the flights. I can't stay in this stuff. It's working out. Flight? Yeah, that's true.
Brett, with these two young rosters, Celtics and your team, do you think they'll be battling each other in the playoffs for years to come, kind of like in the glory days in the 1980s?
I mean, I hope so. I've been asked that question a lot. I think all of us would be curious about, we still got LeBron in the East. You obviously got a strong Toronto program. I think Coach Casey's done a great job of growing that. But I hear your question. And, I personally grew up with this rivalry just right on your doorstep and just a big part of your basketball life as a young kid. And it sure seems like both programs are heading in the right direction to give your comment a chance.
Brett, over here. I apologize for asking another unoriginal question, but what has the last few months been like for you guys, going from a team fighting for a playoff spot to standing here in the conference semifinals?
I mean, it's been fast-moving, but it's been something that people just grind, like we come in, we work, and the guys do the same. It's a very spirited group. It's easier when you're winning to, like, keep pushing buttons and keep asking for more and more. Our preseason sort of goal before it started of making the playoffs, I put that out there. I felt like, why else are we here? I wanted to own that ambition, that goal. And then you get to a stage where you get a little bit greedy and you want home court. And then you get more greedy and you want to finish third. And, you want to win a first round. And now here we are. And it's been fast moving, but it's been something that nobody is overly excited. We're proud, but we're not overly excited. We have more to do. I really believe that. And that has been my mindset, shared with our team. And to date, the players, forget what age, their birth certificate says they are. They bought in. Like, they're coming to mean it, and we're excited to play in the series.
You and Brad came into the league as over here to, I guess that's your left.
Hello,
hey.
Brian.
You and Brad came in as head coaches in the same year. What, if any, relationship have the two of you developed, and what have you admired about his approach here from afar, or not too far?
I mean, I always followed him when he was at Butler and respected him as being innovative. And, there was some Spurs connection with Brad earlier. And then when he came to Boston and I went to Philadelphia, because of my own background, growing up just down 95, you paid attention and seemingly, you started seeing how they were trying to grow their program and we were trying to grow ours. I got a lot of time for Mike and Danny in relation to how they've done it. I got a lot of time for Brad as a coach. And you just pay attention. And, we bump into each other in summer leagues. We go to the gyms with our kids. Last year in Vegas, he and I took our kids into a gym and had some good workouts and spoke a lot since then. I think he's class. I think he's a terrific coach, and look forward to competing against the Celtics.
You've said that you expect a physical series against the Celtics. When it comes to Marcus Smart, what do you see physicality-wise, defense-wise from him?
I mean, when we first started wondering about that year with Andrew Wiggins and Joel Embiid in the draft, I studied Kansas a lot. You didn't know where our ping pong ball was going to fall. And a few of the games that I scouted Kansas, it was Oklahoma State. And so, like, you started paying attention to him and looking at him, early. I did. And what I saw then, I see now. There is a complete competitor, and there is a pit bull. He just is physically imposing, and he has a mindset and disposition to back it up. And I feel like that comment that I've just shared about Marcus, they got in individual defensive players. It's the thing that stands out most to me when I study them, that they have the ability to guard their own man without much help. And that is a incredible asset in today's NBA, where you're just simply trying to avoid rotations. And Marcus has that. And, we're going to see a physical game, certainly from him, and from, statistically, the league's best defensive team. And so we really have our work cut out for us trying to find ways to score.
Brett, speaking of defense, how do you maintain the intensity? You guys have been off, I guess, 6 days now, and you guys were playing at such a defensive peak against Miami.
Yeah.
How do you keep that going, and how important will that be against the Celtics?
I mean, it's how I see the world. I feel that we have been playing good deep. We've ranked third, fourth, second, fifth. Like, we've hovered back and forth. And we've done it really at times without Joel, who for me is the complete difference maker when it comes to defense. But we've been able to really maintain a standard even without Joel. I think to your question about timing and what does it mean that rest versus rhythm, notion is true. This is the longest we have had off, anybody would have had off prior to an all-star break. I think that we've managed it well. I hope we've walked that balance of letting Joel play more basketball and getting comfortable with mask and just playing again. And, JJ has a niggle or Ben has a niggle. You got to give them time off. I think we've walked that line well. How we come out and respond to that time off after playing in a pretty good rhythm, who knows? We'll all be smarter in about 5 hours. But I think I feel comfortable that we've managed that period of time off as best we could.
Coach, Brad Stevens just said that Marcus, who you spoke about a moment ago, will start tonight if Jaylen Brown does not play. How does their offense change in your eyes, or how do you expect it to change if Marcus Smart is out there as opposed to if Jaylen Brown were out there?
I mean, you're just probably going to look to generate more scoring opportunities through your defense. Probably you're going to think that Jaylen's got that athletic bounce and really has a, dynamic scoring ability. Marcus can do that. He just does it, I think, in more sort of a workman-like way. I think that other players can play sort of at a higher level with Marcus because of his steals and tenacity. Maybe you're going to see, Rozier get out in open court as an example more. Maybe you're going to see other people reap the benefit of a defensive, more physical type of player. But they obviously going to miss Jaylen. Like he's got that bounce, and look at what he did in the Milwaukee series. If in fact he can't play.
Brett, you've talked about the game one of a series being the feel-out game. How valuable are the 2 days that you'll have in between games 1 and 2 when you talk about making adjustments?
I mean, I think they're valuable. I feel that it's uncertain still how we're going to respond to, like, time off. I think what I noticed with the players is, you're just trying to identify an opponent for a while, who are we going to play, and then you feel it. I feel it. With the coaches, you're like, trying to game plan and be in war rooms. And so time off isn't always like the answer to playing well. And, we have had a lot of time off. And so I don't know. Like I said before, I don't think any of us really know. And we're going to learn more about our players and the situation as this week plays out. So I think it's said with caution. Just time off isn't always a good thing.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.